Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. It is December 6th, 2015, right? Sunday, December 6th. Yes, Sunday. I'm doing this episode today. Before I get into why, I'll give you the sponsor. For 2 years straight, Earthquaker Devices has been my fantastic sponsor. I absolutely love these guys. They are the real deal. Great friends, incredible business. If you play guitar or bass or keyboards, anything, if you play music, you want to get effects pedals, only get the best. Earthquaker Devices. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram. They're very, very cool. Earthquakerdevices.com. You want to sound like a rock god, you get some pedals right away. Maybe you need a delay, a boost, a fuzz, overdrive, whatever. They have them all. They also have incredible merchandise. They got a cool octopus shirt. I always wear that one. I love it. Follow them, love them, support them, tell them I sent you. It's going to be great, man. They'll hook you up with a good deal. Earthquaker Devices. Let's get into the episode. It's number 217 today. Number 217 episodes, which is might not sound like a lot, or it might sound like a lot. Coming from my side, doing the podcast, wow, it is a lot. It takes a lot of work, and it's fun to do, and I love it. And thanks to everybody that I have met through the podcast world and throughout the world. Listeners and friends who email me and say they love the show. That is fucking cool, man. Doesn't get any better than that. I can't tell you how funny it is to do this thing in my house, and then somebody hits me from like Australia or South Africa or Ireland or Oklahoma or Canada, and they say, I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Thank you. I've got no option. It's all I have, the podcast and comedy. Today, December 6th, is a special day. I know in October, I celebrated my 6-year anniversary of comedy at the Hollywood Improv, but really the 6-year date really is today, December 6th. I only did that show because you don't really get to call the Hollywood Improv and say, hey, I want a headline on this date. That's not how it works. So when they gave me a date close enough to the 6 years, I grabbed it and we celebrated. But today is really the day that I started doing stand-up. And I can't believe it's been 6 years. It feels like, sometimes it feels like 20 years. Sometimes it feels like 2 years. But it's been 6 years. 6 years ago today, I stepped on the stage at the Hollywood Improv for the first time on a Sunday night. It was a special show, one of these shows like, so you always wanted to do comedy, come try it. I was down there. The room was sold out. I went on last after about 10 people, and boom, it grabbed me like cocaine or heroin, a mad drug addiction. And I've been doing it ever since, nonstop, almost 3,000 shows. I'm not sitting here bragging. I'm just laying out. I feel good, and I feel proud of what I've accomplished as I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, where I just headlined all week at the Laugh Factory. It's a strange feeling to think about, you know, seeing your name on a giant billboard on the Strip. And although I'm not famous or anything, I'm proud of that. It's a lot of work to get here, and it takes a lot of you guys out there. The support that I've gotten from everybody out there has been unbelievable. Without that, I probably would have gave up. But there's been a lot of support, and I wanted to give a few minutes to give some thank yous to the people that supported me. And I think it's just important, man, because, you know, I started at 44 years old, and it was just, I didn't know anybody in the comedy world, not one fucking person. I stumbled around the Comedy Store patio, and over a period of a couple years, all of a sudden I had a new family and friends, and I can't tell you how awesome that is, you know, because I don't have family, and I don't have kids or anything. I've been performing for, I think, about 32 years now. I played music, of course, for 25, and then did comedy. So it's all I know. It's all I know, and it's not about fame, and it's not about, you know, getting rich, stuff like that. And I realized that last night. After I did a couple shows, I went to Vamp to see Faster Pussycat, which is Tammy Down's band. Now, Faster Pussycat, you might not know who they are, or maybe you do, and you think they're an old 80s burned out, washed up band. But as I saw Tammy on stage last night, I realized he is still playing music. And of course, maybe it's not arenas, but whatever. He's not mowing lawns. He's not doing construction. And he's not dead. So he's winning in my eyes. And I think that anybody that's been in the arts their whole life, maybe you don't get famous or rich, but you're winning. And sometimes I forget that. As I sit back like, God, man, when's something good going to happen? And it already has. And I know that. But sometimes you need a reminder. But something good already has happened. The podcast, doing comedy, playing music, recording records, getting ready to do a special, anything. That's shit that, I can't overlook. And like I said, it's a lot because of you guys and these people. I want to go through some of the people. And by the way, there's no guest today. There's no guest today because I just felt like it was, coming to the end of the year. I didn't want to do one of those end of the year lists. Like, all right, this is just 6 years of doing comedy, but 32 years of basically trying to entertain people and have fun and do art. So first up, every time I think about this man, I get kind of choked up. A couple guys on this list here, there's people that have just done stuff for me that it just blows my mind, and I can't ever repay them back, But the first one on the list would definitely be Bill Burr, and Bill Burr is, of course, you guys all know him now, but. And maybe you've been following him for years. I don't know, but I found out about him about a year or two into my comedy career, and I just fell in love with his comedy and his style, and then we became great friends, and I just love this guy. No matter what happens, anytime I could call him in the middle of the night, and he would help me with whatever I need. He always answered my questions, and he set me straight. He'd be like, "No, man. That's wrong." Like I'd be like, "This bullshit." He'd go, "No, you're wrong." So, Bill Burr, thank you, man. Next on the list, Mark Maron. Fucking guy. I love this guy. I love him like a father, like a brother, like an older brother, like an incredible friend. I love him for so many reasons. We have so much in common. We love music. He loves to play guitar. I like guitar. He's a king comic. And he had me on his podcast, and that day changed my life. It changed my life in the comedy world. So thank you, Mark Maron. Wow. I love you, man. And I know I drive you crazy. Some other friends here. Eric Griffin, incredible friend. Ian Edwards. Awesome. Joe Rogan, man. I did Joe Rogan's podcast, him and Red Band together, Brian Red Band and the Death Squad. All of that whole thing feels like a great family. I love it, man. They work their asses off. They're great inspiration to me. Incredible work ethic, funny humans, awesome podcast. Rogan, Red Band, all of the Death Squad, thank you. Jay Moore, love you, buddy. Lots of help. Jay Moore. Ari Shafir. Ari Shafir was the first guy ever to have me on a podcast, and it really kind of helped me on that grueling patio at the Comedy Store. Once I was on Ari Shafir's podcast, I think a lot of people found out, like, oh, he's not just some dude that popped in and is going to try comedy. It kind of laid out the, he kind of tapped me as like, he's all right. And thank you, Ari. I love you for that. Jay Davis. I got to mention Jay Davis. Now, and all, by the way, people, follow all these guys on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Go see their shows. All these people, man, they're out there just grinding it away. Jay Davis, guy got me some of my best spots in comedy early on. I really learned about doing stand-up. He'd put me on in between fucking giant killers, and it was hard as hell. I'd go on after Tosh or after Burr or in between, like, whoever the biggest comic was, he'd make me follow him, and I learned so much from it. Harry Basil. Harry Basil is an old school comedian who now books the Vegas Factory, and he's just been such a great supporter of me over the last 3-4 years. I love him. Steve Henry, incredible comic and friend of mine. We started out together, grinding at the open mics. Lucas Hurl, Brenton Biddlecombe, Ari Manis, Spicer, Christian Spicer, my Thursday podcast partner and great friend. Love it, man. Love you, buddy. Jeremiah Watkins, of course, out on the road with me right now. Pete Holmes had me on. Pete Holmes had me on his podcast, introduced me to a whole different comedy world. Love it. Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, Improv, The Ice House. All of you guys, all things comedy. Allie at OC Weekly, who gave me the #1 comic to look for last year. That's it, man. I know I'm missing people, but I don't want the podcast to be boring. I'm just trying to give a shout out to all and everybody. And most of all of you guys who have tuned in and also started seeing me live at shows and listening to the podcast and emailing me. All of you guys, incredible. And some of my favorite podcast guests, I've been so lucky. Mark Lanigan, come on, how great was that? Jerry Casale, Devo, that was good. Chris Goss. Some of my favorite comedians were on, Marin and Joey Diaz. Oh, thank you to Joey Diaz, too. I can see you're going to miss people. I got to thank Joey Diaz. He and I are music freaks. Coco Diaz. Joe Coy. Russell Peters. Can't fucking forget Russell Peters. What an idiot. Russell Peters helped me when I was way down. And he also hooked me up with like my first super theater gig. Like 10,000 people at the, the Nokia Theater. So Russell Peters, love you, man. That guy is unbelievable. One of the best friends you could have in the business. Zero ego. I can't believe how great of a man he is. I could keep going and going, but I just wanted to get that out of the way before I get into a few other things that I wanted to cover. A lot of you have been following me and know that I moved. And on Thanksgiving Day, I had to move. And I moved all my stuff into storage. It was one of the most brutal times in my life ever. I was actually moving with no place to move. And My comedy career is going great, but my personal life was just fucked. I'd been run over on my motorcycle and then asked to move all in the same month. And then there's nothing worse, man. And thank God, I know I joke a lot about doing drugs and getting crazy and stuff, but thank God I was level-headed and had my fucking head on straight. Because that would have tore me up as a younger man, out partying and shit, and all of a sudden I got to move and I'm injured. So I thank everybody for the support on that. I'm going to tell you right now, as of yesterday, I got a new place to live. A lot of people have been emailing me about that, and thank you. I got a new place to live. I'm living in Sherman Oaks, SOD. Sherman Oaks Dean. SOD, if you know that band. Sherman Oaks Dean. And I got to thank Steve Simone. He's the one that hooked this up. I was looking for like 18 days for a place to live, and it was all just garbage out there, and couldn't find anything, and I had to put my stuff in storage. And he texted me, he said, a friend of mine's moving out of their place. Maybe go look at it. It's really good. And I went, and I saw it, and I fell in love with it, and I was praying I could get it, but I filled out all the papers, and it was Thanksgiving week, so the people that owned it were gone. They weren't going to check my credit till Monday. So the long drive to Vegas, I was waiting and waiting, and then I got a text from the landlord. It said, do you want to be neighbors? And I fucking lost my mind. So thank you, Steve Simone, and thank you, everybody. I've got a new place to live, which I wanted to tell you guys, if you get asked to move, you got to know your rights, because I haven't talked about it, but I was asked to move, and I had lived in this place 11 years. And not only was I just run over on my motorcycle, but I did not want to move. I'd been there 11 years, loved my place, and the owner wanted to move their daughter into the place. Her daughter had a baby. They had asked me to move once about a year ago, and then said, nah, you don't have to move, then changed their mind. So it was a fucking up and down year, a yo-yo of like, shit, do I got to move or I don't got to move? And I ended up having to move. And what's really fucked is you don't realize how much shit you have if you've lived somewhere 11 years. That place of mine was like a rock museum. I'm sure some of you have seen photos. You've heard the guests talk about it. And the roots were very deep. The roots were very deep. And boom, I got a place now. And I'm fired up. I almost kind of like it better. I mean, it's a different layout, but it's got a good setup, man. It's in a neighborhood where I can walk around, like New York or San Francisco style. Get up in the morning, walk to a couple restaurants, coffee shop. The bank is in the hood. Got some Trader Joe's. I got a kitchen finally. I haven't had a kitchen in 11 years. So for 11 years, no kitchen, no laundry. I ate out every night. So I'll be saving money this way. And laundry at home. I don't even know what that's like. So looking forward to that. I'll be moving into the place this week. Thanks, everybody. And like I said, if you do need help, you're getting thrown out, do your research. Email me. I'll hook you up. I got a great lawyer. He looked into it, and boom, he found out my rights. And renters have rights. You know that. So watch out for that stuff. So yeah, this is the first time I've ever just babbled on a podcast. But I just wanted to get some things out because I feel like I've been doing this thing for 3-4 years. And I just wanted to get some stuff out. Next up, we lost Scott Weiland over the weekend. That's a heavy thing. I've had quite a few of his band members on this podcast. I've had producers that have worked with him. Chris Goss. I had guys that have shot his videos. Joey C played drums with him. Joey C was on the tour with him when he passed away a couple nights ago. Still don't know how he passed away. Of course, everybody's going to think drugs, but you never know. You don't know. It could be the toll that drugs took on him years ago. Could be whatever. I don't know what it could be. But my point is we lost a good one. And I saw Stone Temple Pilots quite a few times. And, they had, the songs they had. If you sit around and just think about that alone. Like the first record, of course, they got a lot of flack because he was doing the Eddie Vedder on the video, But by the time they get to the second record, Purple, which is an unbelievable record. I went back and, of course, listened to it the day he passed over and over. And the tunes on this thing are unbelievable. Vaseline, Interstate Love Song, Big Empty. It's just hit city, Meat Plow. I love the first song, Meat Plow. That guy, Robert DeLeo, man, he can write some tunes. He wrote the tunes, and they were unbelievable. And then Scott, of course, incredible lyrics and a great singer. It's a bummer when you lose somebody. I can't even talk about, wow, he's gone. He's gone at 48. I'm going to be 50 in a couple months. That's way, way too young. And I really felt like Stone Temple Pilots were going to go at it again, But what are you going to do? Whenever you got somebody that's an incredible artist, a lot of times they're going to have some loose bolts. We're all kind of weirdos, and that's what makes it work. If everybody was normal, there would be no great art. So, big shout out to Scott. And we're going to miss him, man. We're going to miss him, and at least we got all his great music left behind. Sex Type Thing, Plush, Creep, Big Empty, Vaseline, Interstate Love Song. They did a killer cover of Dancing Days. I loved the song Sour Girl. What a great weird song and weird video with the Tubbies Lady Picture Show. One thing, when you listen to the music, as I was listening to it all weekend, of course their first record is pretty derivative, but the second and on, it sounds so original. It's kind of like a distant cousin to Zeppelin. The music is not your standard songs, I wrote music, and this is some outside of the box stuff. Really fucking good. And then, of course, his work that he did with Velvet Revolver, the first record, immediately a smash hit with a great rock vibe. So there he is. He's gone, but we've got his music, and everybody celebrate his music. Play it, enjoy it, and long live Scott. I don't know what else really to tell you guys. I just want to say thank you and talk to you a little bit and get out of here. I'm going to be heading home from Vegas. Looking forward to my new place this week. And all kinds of new episodes of Let There Be Talk with some incredible guests coming up. Thank you, guys. One last thing, if you do want to donate to the podcast, I've made it really easy. Just go to patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. That's patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. You can donate to the podcast, and everybody that has so far, thank you. And thank you, everybody that got your shirts. I'm glad you love them. Grateful Dean. I hope you had an incredible Thanksgiving. And looking forward to seeing you guys all out there in 2016. It's a crazy world out there right now. Make sure you're doing what you love to do. Go out, see art, celebrate art, have fun. You never know what's going to happen. So just enjoy yourselves every day. Don't sleep, man. Don't waste minutes. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Light the candles. Thank you. Shit, I knew before I go, I had to add this in. I knew, when you're making a list, you're going to forget people, and I couldn't forget one of my best friends, Kevin Christie. That would be stupid. So I wanted to add this in. Kevin Christie, I love you, brother. Thanks for all your help in the last 6 years. And Neil Brennan for your incredible show out there on the West Side. Both you guys are just fucking awesome. And one more shout out to Russell Peters, too, because,